Thanks, Brent. Okay, so number one, great stuff. I think between Randy, Scott, and Larry, I don't have to show too much of the product, but I am going to get into a couple of things for everybody here. Real quickly, I'd like to go back to a very brief diagram that Brent provided early on, just to kind of reemphasize what's going on with this IoT. And with this IoT, I mean, it may have started years ago. Hey, I just need to know where my assets are, right? These are the different type of assets that we're bringing into a consolidated, I call it a data consolidator, but there's a lot of smarts in here that's going on with this location data engine. And then we push it off, which I'm going to show you in a minute here, the applications software that we have for tracking and showing this off, the reports, a lot of the examples that the gentleman earlier had shown. And briefly, I'll just talk about what Terry was talking about, pushing our information out to Esri. So it may have started with basic lat long, but now you're starting to hear integration over here to the left of a snowplow, for example, with spreader integration, road and air temperature sensors. And now we're seeing all of the engine diagnostics coming into from OBD2, from cars and trucks to the J1939 interfaces into the big iron type of vehicles. All of this additional information, we spend a great amount of time to get more information like humidity sensors, whatever we can get off of that asset to ultimately answer the question on the right-hand side. Because it all starts over here. How can I be more efficient? You've heard the words efficient how many times today? A gazillion times, right? So the whole thought here is start with a question in mind. What questions do I want to talk about environmental, carbon dioxide emissions? Am I really worried about environmental? Am I worried about efficiencies again? But when we say efficiency, what is that efficiency? Am I idle time too much? All of these type of questions we're trying to help our customers answer. So another example that it's hard to put all of the things that we interface with. You saw Randy talk about static pumps, because hey, guess what? When it floods, I need to know where that is. Or you're talking about integration for determining, did I spread the right material at the right time? Or where Larry was talking about, am I spreading material too close to an aquifer that is environmentally protected? There's stuff like mosquito sprayers that we integrate with. And we don't just track where the mosquito sprayer is, we're actually pushing that information into their system and playing it on their system. So I guess in real quick on this diagram, we spend a great amount of time here, getting it in here, and then provide it out. We real time and historical analytics, and we continue to evolve in more and more analytics ourselves, or pushing it out into the Esri portal so that they can do their own analytics as well. We also have third-party applications such as Cityworks is one asset management example that we actually put our assets into there, because guess what? That's where they are creating the work order tickets against getting a vehicle into the shop to get fixed. So we could pass these OBD alerts pass through into them. We have other interface. We use the open API to interface with the other asset management companies or any other type of, could be a custom workflow of sorts. But we're talking Cartograph and Agile Assets and all of these type of guys that we integrated with as well. I just wanted to show that real quickly to kind of reemphasize that, yes, we try to get as much as we can, and we put this where we need to have it, on premise or in the cloud. And when it comes to in the cloud, while working with Microsoft Azure now, getting all the IT and security issues built in to keep our customers at ease. Okay, so let's jump into the actual application itself. I mentioned those applications on the top right of the diagram. This is actually live data, so I'm going out on a limb to show live data. I know you saw a lot of static images previously in the other presentations, but here's live up in Lethbridge, Canada. And you're seeing some assets moving around. You can click on an asset. You can see what the asset is. I can see current monitors. This isn't a very exciting asset, but I can see situational awareness where this vehicle is to identify where he is. I can show the real-time data simultaneously with this asset down below happening. I can click on an asset. I show in the asset information. This has a 30-second cadence, this particular customer. As it moves, you'll see at the center, the map will center with the asset itself. Kind of tidying this up again, just to show you a full map. If you're an Esri user, this should look very familiar to you. We can change the base maps on the fly. I always like a little bit of color, so I'm going to go here. We can use map services to put aerial photography, any type of layer. It could be a different type of a base map, high-res base maps in here. There's a hybrid that's got both, so you can get a little bit more high resolution. You'll see it get crisp. See where everybody's moving around here. Situational awareness wise, I can add layers. You saw some snow plow routes, for example, but it could be anything. It could be sweeper routes, etc. By using the Esri map services and dropping these layers in here. This could be based on a priority route to see, hey, am I showing or hitting the areas that I wish to hit? All right, so if I remove some of these, the more detailed stuff, breadcrumbs. When we talked about breadcrumbs quite a bit, you've seen them in the various displays. Different things you can do with the breadcrumbs. It comes in handy for snow plows, etc. But I can turn on connected breadcrumbs, and you'll see as they move, again, this is on a 30-second cadence. So as this asset moves, it's going to connect it to the previous breadcrumb. So in a sense, you can see where these things have moved historically. Got to be in at a certain zoom level and it'll pop up. So hopefully these guys are moving around. Again, this is live data. And as it moves around, let's see what else I got moving around. Only one moving here, guys. Here's one down here. There you go. So you'll see that it connected from the last breadcrumb to this breadcrumb. So you can see historical path in a sense, and you can define what you want to have shown and what you don't want to have shown. So this just kind of gives you an idea of the mapping going on, what we can do with the assets real time. Again, you've got the tabular data. You can click on a vehicle, an asset, and you configure all of this as you wish. There's a ton of configuration in Compass Track. As you saw between what Scott was talking about and Randy talking about, red may mean one thing for one person and blue may be the same type of an item with a different color. I mean, everybody can view this stuff and customize it to meet their needs. So as far as real-time displays, we have this, and we also have dashboards. So let me see what else I got. So this so Randy was showing snow plows, the snow dashboard. This is actually today. I was kind of excited to see this working because it means there's some plows running around. So he showed a static image. You can select different groups, and you'll see these things kind of wiggling around over different periods of times and see what's been going on. A lot of analytics, real time kind of happening at a glance. And the thought process of some of these dashboards that we developed was our system had all of this information, but you may have to go into reports for one thing, or real-time display for this, or historical replay for there. So we're trying to combine this to make it easier for our users. Coming back to historical replay, back to the map, and let's start looking at some of the historical analytics. So I can go back to historical playback replay. I'm going to select a date. I just picked the 4th from 6 to 12. And I'm going to come down and grab, let's go take a look at garbage. Why not? Grab some garbage trucks. I'm going to load the replay. And as we select the replay, it's going back to this time slice from the date and the time range that you have, going back to that, what I call the data consolidator, which is Compass LDE. It's a location data engine. And it grabs all the information and it's getting ready to play it back. So it's just like a video. I'm very impatient, plus I'm trying to be short on time. So I'm going to crank it up to 8x. And what's interesting, you'll see the time clicking along here. Let's see when these things light up. Now, one time to the garbage trucks. Oh, stop. So there's the first guy. He's the early riser. 6:30 in the morning. He's up and now he's moving around. Okay. So here comes the second truck, and I can zoom in. I can pause this. I can go back and change my map. I can put the high res insert back in there. I can any of my GIS layers that came from the department, etc. I can, it's okay, I don't want to play it back. I just want to see how it all ended up. I can just move over to here, right? Or I can play it from there. So it gives you a good way for, you heard earlier, some folks are using the historical analytics for resolution disputes or dispute resolution, excuse me, or efficiencies. Did I actually hit the right stuff? So in the case of snow or garbage, you're seeing which neighborhoods they hit, what they were doing. I can pause and either one of these, I can click on them, find out what's going on with them again, see what's happening. I can zoom in, all the same map features that we've had on the normal Compass track. So pretty powerful playback tool. Okay, so let's pause that. Let's unload that display and go back to the map. There's also, like we talked about, paint the town is another option. If I grab my garbage trucks, and I can just see at a glance without going through the replay feature, I can just paint the town with this guy. And again, it's going back to the database. I'm going to paint the town based on this dates. And it just goes splat and just hits it all out there. Where's it all been? Where's everybody been? What they've been doing? And you can still integrate it all and take a look at it and click on things. Okay, so that's the warp speed version of the Compass track application. Let me trying to get to my I can't see underneath there's. So this is the example of a fleet management dashboard, a little different than, you may have seen this in one of the demos earlier as well. But again, same type of technology. You can select what groups you would like to see, whether it be a sweeper, trucks, yellow iron, and you could see various information down here on the right. Oops, sorry. Another thing to see is this is another customer that we're seeing real-time data. These are got some snow plows and looks like they are, it's a sander. We got a sander and you can customize these icons as well. Just another customer seeing different things. And if I go to reports, we'll go sweeper. See if I got a sweeper. Had this up earlier. Maybe I'll just do it from here. Just want to show you an example of a sweeper report real quick. Just look at my assets. They're not happening here. Okay. Apologize for that. I'm getting lost in the jungle on my tabs. This is the main dashboard, home, dashboards, Compass, and in the Compass reports, I can select any Compass report, come back in here, and I could check speeding. All of these are pre-canned reports. I can do alerts, I can do OBD, and select various information on each one of these to somewhat customize it for yourself. The combination of reports can generate a variety of type of information for historical analytics for you guys. And also, you've heard the concept of scheduled reports. So if I wanted to see, for example, on that 4th, I'm just going to go to the 4th, and I'm going to go from 8 to 5. I'm going to grab a garbage truck again. And I want to know if those assets went over 50 for over a minute. Because obviously if they're flying by at over 50 actually kilometers an hour, since I'm up there, that it's going to be not very efficient at picking up trash. Therefore, so you see these type of reports and they're coming up, you can expand them and start drilling down into them. But when I start looking at tabular data, it doesn't really help me as much as maybe some people. But again, even though this information is set up like this, you can schedule a report, and whatever you have up on your screen can be sent out automatically in various formats, whether it be a PDF or any other type of format, and it's sent to an email distribution. So theoretically, if you have a manager, you really don't want to get into this system at all, but he just wants to know, he just wants the answer. You can have this report scheduled. Additionally, you can pull this up and see, okay, where was he speeding? So you can click the little icon and it's going to pop up here. And do that again. Grab this guy, the icon, pops up the map. It's buried in on the maps here. So you'll see where he was actually geographically going over 75, 60, etc. Going back to this map real quick to finish up real quickly. We've talked about cameras a little bit. And the importance of the cameras is, I think, one of the questions Brent asked is, do you want to see static images or live feeds and videos, etc.? I think if you ask any good engineer, they're going to want to see every live video all the time. But obviously, there's restrictions. You're going to be having to watch out for the infrastructure, how much cellular use, or how are you going to transport this? Are you going to use Wi-Fi? There's a lot of those questions that we've integrated with our camera solution that we can try to help advise the folks come up with the appropriate solution. Everybody has a different use for cameras and live feed. It's tied into both dispute resolution, snow plowing in winter conditions. It's tied into collisions and driver behavior. So we're working with a lot of our customers right now to provide those type of information to them as well.